The Normandy landings were the landing operations and associated airborne operations on Tuesday, the 6th of June, 1944, of the Allied invasion of Normandy, codenamed Operation Overlord during World War II. Operation Neptune was often referred to as D-Day. It was the largest seaborne invasion in history. The operation began the liberation of France and later Western Europe and laid the foundations of the Allied victory in the Western Front. Over 150,000 soldiers were sent to fight, and over 10,000 died in the initial landings that day. Operation Bodyguard was an operation made to mislead the Germans about the landing zone and dates, and made sure to trick the Germans into sending more troops and resources to another place, leaving a 50-mile stretch of shore separated into 5 parts, codenamed Utah, Gold, Juno, Omaha, and Sword. The landings were preceded by a naval and aerial bombardment and then an airborne assault, dropping 24,000 Canadian, American, and British paratroopers behind enemy lines to disrupt communications, capture roads and bridges, and to hold off enemy reinforcements, and ensure that the victory of the landings and make a foothold to Central Europe and eventually move up to defeat the Nazi regime. So, the atomic bombings. Yeah. Japan was on its last legs, basically. They were just fighting to protect their main island at that point. They lost everything. Well, not everything, but they lost a majority of what they had. They lost pretty much every single aircraft carrier. Their biggest battleship, they lost that. The islands, like, I think they lost the Philippines. They lost Midway. There was a game about that one. What else? Yeah, they were just basically done for. It was just them trying to hang on, basically. They didn't want to surrender. They don't believe in surrender. They'd rather, like, kill themselves than surrender. I think that's what I think it is. But yeah, they lost island after island. America just kept making more planes. Like, if they destroyed one plane, they made 10 more. If they destroyed one tank, they made 10 more. Basically, they were just throwing everything at them. They were just throwing metal, planes, people, tanks, bombs, ships, everything at them. And Japan just couldn't handle it. So, plus that and poor communication, they lost island after island until it was just their island, basically. And, well, America wanted payback for what happened to them on December 7th. Yeah, so, plus they didn't want to invade the actual mainland Japan because it'll just be too much blood, more than they already spilled in the islands just getting to Japan. So instead of invading Japan, they made these bombs. 2 bombs, Fat Man and Little Boy. And they had 2 planes, the Enola Gay and the Boxcar. They planned to drop it on 2 cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. When they did, and note the Little Boy bomb killed about 90,000 to 146,000 people in just the explosion. The Fat Man, when it was dropped, it killed 39,000 80,000 people. I'm not very good with math, but I'd say that's like almost 200,000 people dead. Maybe, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, after that, Japan's like, yeah, we can't handle this no more. Let's just give up. So they surrendered. And, yeah, when they surrendered, America just wanted to brag in their face. So they brought the biggest battleship they had, the entire Navy, just so Japan could sign the what's it called? Basically surrender papers. And, well, yeah, that was, a lot of people had to die with 2 bombs. And that was the only time in the war that atomic bombs were ever used. So, yeah, concentration camps and death camps. There's a difference between the two. Concentration camps where they sent people they didn't like, prisoners of war, Jews, anyone Hitler didn't like, he sent them there. And there they were just slaves basically. They worked until they were dead, and when they died, they just replaced them with more people, more slaves. And well, at first, Jews lived in Germany. All right, then when Hitler came into power, he blamed everything on Jews, their losses, their everything, their suffering, and he used them as a scapegoat. And because of that, the people learned to hate Jews. Well, most of the people. There were still people here and there who supported them and who like helped them hide. At like it was kind of dangerous there because if they found you hiding the Jews, they just kill you. No remorse. They just shoot you in the head. That's it. But yeah, concentration camps. They sent trains full of them. Trains like not even passenger trains. They just had them standing up for hours on a train track, heading to these camps, and well, some of them wouldn't survive the trip there. It was bad. They got no food. They worked like 20 hours a day. Were like 10, but yeah. It was just harsh conditions basically, and well, a lot of Jews were killed just in concentration camps. What at the end of the war, towards the end of the war, Hitler decided to use his final solution, and instead of focusing resources on the war, he sent all he could to make death camps. They weren't to make like life insufferable. They just there to kill people. They had killing was on their like they wanted it to make it as efficient as possible. They had big gas chambers to kill as many as they could in a quick time. And they made Jews they made basically anybody pull out the dead bodies and then they burnt them in big furnaces. They made killing efficient, basically. And, well, the biggest of them there was two big ones. I forgot the second one. But I know one was Auschwitz in Poland. And they did all the worst things you can imagine. They beat them, tortured them, experimented on them. They tattooed numbers on them. They were more like animals or like just non-humans at that point. But yeah, as it was mostly in Europe. Yeah, so as allies came through Normandy and everything and into France, they started finding more and more death camps, and they're like, what's been happening here, bro? So then they each one they find deliberated. They find dead bodies everywhere, executions, hangings, gassings, everything, the worst of the worst. And well, they liberated everything, but some of them survived. Some of the people in these camps survived. Yeah, Adolf Hitler. He wasn't a good guy to everyone else, but to Germany, he was kind of their hero. Basically, he fought in the First World War. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Anyways, he sees Germany struggling. He runs for leader. He loses. They put him in jail for a while. In jail is where he wrote Mein Kampf, a book about his struggles, basically. And after he gets out, he just does nothing for a little bit until he notices that, well, the entire Germany is basically in a Great Depression because they had to pay a lot of money for destroying everything, basically. They were in debt, a lot of debt. And, well, because of that, you needed, like, 3 pickup trucks full of money just to buy some bread, some orange juice, whatever, toothpaste. But, yeah, the German people didn't like that, so he had some good talking skills for a bad person. And he convinced them all that if they elected him as leader, he'd turn the country upside down, just fix everything, rebuild it, make it better than it was before. Yeah, and, well, he tells them what they want to hear, basically, and they elect him. Then he goes on, creates secret police, the Hitler Youth. He starts using Jews as a scapegoat, blames all of Germany's suffering on them, blames them losing the war, the Great Depression, what they are now, all the land they lost. They said they were like traitors to Germany, basically everything bad. he he blames on them. So he makes everyone turn against them. Um, he makes a pact with Germany. Germany, Italy, and Japan, where they called the Axis, the three Axis powers. Then they kick off World War II by basically invading Poland. Fast forward a couple years, they're losing the war. Hitler decides to use a final plan. I forgot what it's called. Basically, he just moves everything, his resources, his troops, everything, into killing off the people he didn't like. So, at the end of the war, well, the Western War, yeah, well, the one in Europe, basically, he lost the Western Front, the Eastern Front. The Russians are coming from the East, the Americans, British, and everything else coming from the West. And they're basically right around Berlin. And, well, he's in a bunker underground. He pretty much lost the war. And instead of giving himself up, he decides to kill himself. So, I think he drank poison or something like that. Yeah, he kills himself in his bunker. The Russians get to him first, I'm pretty sure. Then they find his body. They decide to burn it. They burn it. And yeah, that's the end of him and his little Nazi regime. So, Stalin. He was like Hitler if Hitler wasn't a Nazi. People don't look at him as like when they think of evil in World War II, you go to like Hitler because, he killed a lot of people. He put them in camps, gassed them, killed them, tortured them, worked them to death. Basically, just bad. And Stalin, he was basically the same. He also created secret police. He made gulags to send the people he didn't like, just like how Hitler made concentration camps to send people he didn't like there. He was just like I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, he was Russian Adolf Hitler, but Joseph Stalin. He also had a mustache too, so I guess that's another similarity. He at first he didn't want to join the war, but then what's it called? He wanted more land. Basically, he wanted Russia to be bigger. I mean, the USSR, I think it was, or something. But yeah, he wanted more land, and well, the Nazis gave him what's it called, like? Anyways, yeah, they decided to make a pact together. So Russia and Germany, they agreed they wouldn't attack, and together they invaded Finland. And well, Hitler got Finland, some of Finland, and Stalin got the land he wanted. But when they did that, Germany did that because they didn't want a two-front war, so they could focus all their troops on one side. But at some point, Hitler decided to backstab Stalin and decided to attack him, so they attacked him. And, well, it was kind of even because, like, Germany had better technology, better soldiers, but Russia had more soldiers than Germany had bullets. So basically, they solved every problem by just throwing bodies at them, basically. You had a tank, 5 people, just send as many as you can to take out one tank. And if you lose 100, too bad. We got 100 more, basically. And, well, yeah, one of the worst battles was Stalingrad, and basically, it was just bloody. They just sent people, and then people just kept dying, and to replace them, they just sent more people. So it was just kind of a loop until one of them lost. Yeah. And then Joseph Stalin, I think he died of a heart attack or something. That was his fault, though, because I think he executed generals, doctors. He didn't trust anybody. He thought he was gonna get backstabbed by them. And, well, yeah, I guess he was right because Hitler did. But yeah, because of that, he died. he had a heart attack or something, heart problems, complications, and he passed away.